What's good, y'all? It's the Demouchets REACT, and we're back with another video. Who we got today, C?
Today we're back with another American reaction. So excited about this video. If you're new to us
and we're new to you,
make sure you scroll down,
hit that subscribe button,
and turn on the post notification bell
because we're on the road to 200K.
And we cannot get there without you guys, alright? Join the family. Without further ado, let's get into the video.
White people food.
No.
One of the internet's favorite jokes of all time has been dunking on unseasoned, undercooked, barely edible slop that children of Yakub like to call food. It's not hard to find countless of examples of people posting culinary monstrosities such as these, and subsequently writing comments about how white people can't season food even if it killed them. Hell, if anything, it makes you understand why the British became the best sailors in the world. However, I am here to say that that's not really the case and dispel the myths about the incapabilities of Caucasian people in the kitchen, as white people food is much more than the failed attempts of morbid obesity and freedom land at culinary arts. To start off, the schema of white people food originates from America. Most usually it is associated with incorporating very plain ingredients such as bread, cheese, cream, potatoes, and potentially some sort of unseasoned meat. Most usually the dishes that would be considered white would be things such as a bologna sandwich, potato salad, some sort of casserole, or just basic stuff like slightly salted, steamed, or boiled vegetables with...
You think they're going to show potatoes with raisins?
The potato salad.
Potatoes with raisins is potato salad?
They be putting raisins in the potato salad. I don't know, but...
Yeah, this video's starting off all wrong.
It is, baby.
Jeez.
These images and clips that we seeing.
Is that undercooked? Like, what would that be called?
Baby.
Can I get a sandwich with
salmonella?
With salmonella.
Salmonella sandwich. I want to say that I've never thought that all of their food was bad because we from Louisiana. Y'all know we're going to put on 5 State every time, okay? We from Louisiana and all of our people know how to cook.
Facts.
Regardless of race.
Facts.
So
you're going to smell something, bro.
Everybody. The majority.
You're going to smell something. You're going to smell something cooking.
barely salted chicken breast. Usually when these dishes are compared to the cuisines of other peoples in America, such as Indians, Latinos, Africans, and the Chinese, a lot of it seems underwhelming and laughable as the others are rich in color, smell, and flavor. However, these types of dishes are quite the tiny sample of white cuisine. A lot of these types of dishes that I mentioned first found their origin from Northern European settlers, such as the English, Irish, Germans, and Scandinavians, who were mainly at the time disenfranchised peasants. Because of their poverty, many couldn't afford to cook with anything else other than the most basic of ingredients. Their climate didn't help that much either, as there was also a smaller extent of produce that could be grown in their native countries of origin. Later on, after the Second World War, America experienced a boom of new ways of food processing and making, which gave birth to their native countries of origin. Later on, after the Second World War, America experienced a boom of new ways of food processing and making, which gave birth to stuff such as the trusted American Jell-O, spray canned cheese, and infamous long-lasting sliced bread. Convenient, sure, but also a cardinal sin against God and everything holy. But again, these are just a very few nitpicked examples and not really representative of the whole cuisine. White people food essentially comes from European cuisine, and much like any region in the world, Europe's cuisine is quite distinct from the others.
Alright, let's go back a few, because he was talking about the weather, about it being too cold or whatnot, and they couldn't grow certain things. You would have thought parsley would have made it on the list.
Okay.
Parsley is it's grass, basically. Grass. Chopped grass.
Chopped grass.
it's basically grass that we use, that we just put on
a different
the little,
type.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. What other dishes that you could have just like harvest that could have birthed a level of seasoning? Seasoning though?
Oh, tomatoes maybe?
Tomatoes, definitely tomatoes.
Yeah. Bell pepper, little onion, little celery, the green onion, shallots.
It wasn't growing none of that, you think?
That's why all of our elders canned food.
Well, first to tackle the main elephant in the room, seasoning.
Okay, here we
Despite the
go.
popular stereotype of white people not seasoning their food, this simply isn't the case. Again, due to Europe's overall climate, which isn't the best for growing most spice plants, the cuisine had to implement less exotic spices. While in Indian and Middle Eastern cuisines, it is common to use turmeric, red pepper, saffron, and curry, Europe implements more of salt, black pepper, rosemary, paprika,
You got some
dill,
little rosemary,
nettle
okay.
seed, and horseradish as their main spice. Most of the spices implemented in European cooking are much more subtle and intended to bring out more of the main ingredients' flavor rather than overwhelm the dish with its own aroma. In League of Legends terms, spices in Indian cuisine would be the main carry, while in European, they play more of a support role. Even though they're not the most exciting of spices, they're still important even though they're not the main component that carries the dish. The cuisine's main strength is the freshness of the ingredients and the techniques used to cook the dishes. Although Europe's climate definitely wasn't its friend when it came to growing exotic spices, it is quite useful when it comes to preserving ingredients due to its lower temperatures, which as a result gives the meat, veggies, or any other dish a much juicier and fresher taste. One of the main reasons why spices were used as much as they were is because of the hot temperatures. As the heat can often get quite out of control in many parts of Asia and Africa, spices were used a lot of the time to preserve food for longer periods of time, and even sometimes to mask the taste of it if it went bad. While in Europe, the climate and different techniques of preservation helped it last longer and improve its taste. Europe and many parts of North America also have a lot of farming land rich in minerals and nutrients, such as black soil and volcanic dirt found in Italy, which also allowed for the growth of more juicier ingredients. However, another thing that plays a role in the freshness of Europe's produce today is also the regulation of food. The EU, although quite often can be quite a bureaucratic pain in the ass, also has quite strict food regulations compared to the US, which definitely help in benefiting the taste of the local cuisines. So even though dishes between America and Europe are shared, America's quality of white people food can be quite lower due to the amount of preservatives and other additives in food products.
You said America's is quite lower quality.
Yeah, you heard that. Yep.
That is so hilarious to me. I feel like okay.
Is he hitting it though? Like, is he in the ballpark of what their dishes are?
Yeah, they're
as
just
much?
clearing it up.
Clearing it up. Okay.
The types of dishes, but
Okay, for one, he did mention that, like, we use seasoning to kind of stretch it up. I think he said in India. To preserve and to mask. In Africa, to preserve and mask the taste if it's kind of overdue. Where they just, like, wrap it up and serve it still.
I understand people, okay, for chicken. People want to taste the chicken. They don't want the over.
Bro, one chicken is bad. Y'all smelled some bad chicken before? Oh, no, that mug don't smell too hot.
I forgot. Just play.
Anything overdue, just go, bro. But you gotta understand that what's the time in history where they did eat like that.
Yeah, and once upon a time.
But
I think now my people over there in Africa and in the Caribbean and over here, we like spice.
100%.
It got spice, okay?
Yeah. 100%.
It's a part of the culture.
Which as a result can mess with the final taste and texture of the dish. This doesn't only extend to proper dishes but junk foods as well, as their quality and taste can vary quite a bit between the two continents. Just look at the sizes between American and European chickens and cows, and the ingredients and additive lists in chips, soda, and other junk foods. However, arguably the main thing that characterizes European food is technique. In India, one of the main techniques is to first fry up the spices to draw out their aroma. In Japan, the ikejime method is used when slaughtering and cleaning out a fish to preserve its freshness and flavor. Meanwhile, in Europe, much of its culinary techniques originate from France and are intended to chemically alter the ingredients and bring out their flavors, such as sautéing, flambeing, grilling, frying ingredients in animal fat, and poaching. Another major difference between European cuisines and that of non-European cuisines is speed. In many Asian cuisines, a large number of dishes are intended to be made fast and efficiently. While in European, they take a longer time as they have to go through several processes or be slow cooked to draw out the flavors, as is the case for many stews, soups, and chorbas. Of course, this doesn't mean that other cuisines don't have similar processes for some of their dishes as well. Japanese food can also take a bit of preparation.
Yeah, most meats that take longer to cook will sit and, cook down, because you don't want your meat to be like, first, like chewing bubblegum. It's like you're trying to get that trying to get right through it. It's not cutting.
Yes, it need to be tender. Mm-hmm. Okay. And I mean, for us, just speaking on our culture.
Yeah.
When it comes to tough meat like that, we have brines, or we have marinating, like we marinate the meats and to tenderize it.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes we actually beat the meat to tenderize it. So prepping beforehand, before you start to actually cook, works too.
Yeah, it kind of takes some time off your pot just
Cooking
sitting on
time.
the stove all day.
Yeah.
Well as Chinese. I mean, Peking duck and ramen don't just get snapped into existence. It is quite a tedious process to make both, and there are many other dishes from various other non-European countries that also take an eternity to prepare. And I don't want to imply that dishes prepared faster are somehow inferior. I mean, we've all been hungover at one point, and kebabs and tacos tasted like the tears of Mother Mary herself. However, this style of longer dish preparation is more prevalent in European styles of cooking and serves a similar function to spices in more Eastern cuisines, as both methods intend to add flavor to the food. European cooking also relies quite a bit on sauces. Some of the most important sauces in the cuisine are velouté, Hollandaise, bechamel, tomato, and espagnole. In more Eastern cuisines of the continent, condiments such as mustard, mayo, and sour cream also play an important role in drawing out the flavors. It is also worthy to mention that sauce making is no easy task. A lot of the time, it is quite a time-intensive process where the control of heat, the amount of ingredients, and the way of mixing are of utmost importance. As a result, in a casual setting, this step might be skipped from time to time.
The paint sauce is crazy. So y'all like cooking from scratch. Mm-hmm. That's what it's saying. Like with all the sauces and making it and starting on the stove, and he's saying how it's time consuming. But y'all like cooking from scratch. I think that's pretty good to know.
Yeah,
cooking from scratch is good.
Alley.
Yeah, that's
like
facts.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Substituted with a lower effort or industrially made sauce. In Eastern and Northern Europe, pickling and smoking meats are also two popular techniques. Due to the even lower temperatures here and a shorter growing season, the people from these regions had to adapt when it came to preserving food for the winter. As a result, pickling vegetables and fish became a signature of their cuisines. Smoking meats also became a popular method as it made it last for a much longer time.
They smoke meat different.
And although not a lot of seasoning is utilized in the making of these types of dishes except for a bit of salt, dill, and vinegar, these processes drastically change the chemical composition of the foods that...
So would y'all call it a stereotype that y'all don't like to season your food to the T? Like, because he said it was a stereotype, sort of, at the beginning. But from what I experienced, I've seen videos where the people been asked, how do you guys season your food? A lot of them just say black pepper, salt.
That's it.
And there's probably some basil. There's some basil in there.
Oh, okay. I mess with basil.
Yeah, but usually it's just like salt and pepper.
Yeah. When y'all watch our cooking videos,
what happened?
I don't know. Salt. And some people think that pepper is spicy.
That's what it is. I think they want to refrain from the over spice.
Their
taste.
palate is just a little different from ours because we like, baby, this bland with just pepper. Okay,
New
so
flavors were brought out which rendered spice unnecessary. Instead of having these represent white cuisine, here are some examples that are quite popular and a much better representation. In Germany, a popular dish is pork tenderloin smothered in sauteed onion and mustard. This dish utilizes all characteristics of European cuisine, as the tenderloin is baked for a while and then covered in a sauce made of onions, mustard, and dill. A popular side dish with meat there is also braised red cabbage, which is additionally infused with apples to add extra sweetness and bacon for the savoriness. The country also has a variety of breads. And
that was too much. I gotta think about that. Right
so, preferably y'all would want like a sweeter dish than a seasoned dish? Just asking. I never heard apples in them. That's like
with cabbage.
I mean, people could use apples for like a signature,
but
how much?
Yeah.
How much?
I think I've heard of that as like a salad.
Mm-hmm.
Like apples, like, you know, like Panera have all these little different salads that they be putting together, and sometimes you be like, what? But you taste it and it tastes good.
You know, it makes me think now that just because you add more to the dish, it kind of beats that it's not as seasoning. Because you got more flavors.
Yeah, it's different.
You know
flavors.
What I'm saying? But when it's seasoning, it's like less is more.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense, because you don't need to put all the extra stuff to make it jump or be so tasteful. When you can just season it up and it's like it's gonna hit.
Right, now that pork tenderloin, that was cool. That was cool.
Yeah.
But the cabbage, it was cabbage, apples. What was the other one?
Red cabbage, apples, and I didn't get it. I think that was it.
It was something they put on top, and I'm like, hold up, that's a little bit more flavor.
This dish utilizes all characteristics of European cuisine, as the tenderloin is baked for a while and then covered in a sauce made of onions, mustard, and dill. A popular side dish with meat there is also braised red cabbage, which is additionally infused with apples to add extra sweetness, and bacon for the savoriness. The country also has a variety of breads and pastries that all differ quite substantially from one another and are composed of delicate flavors and textures. In Italy, a lot of pride is taken in the pasta. There are so many varieties of it, and they are usually intended to be made fresh. They can vary in flavor depending on the sauce used for them, such as the classic tomato sauce, which consists of mainly tomato and sometimes extra veggies such as onions and carrots, seasoned by basil or oregano, or it can be carbonara, which is made up of parmesan, butter, garlic, and pancetta, or it can also be infused with pesto, which is made of fresh basil, garlic, pine nuts, and again, parmesan. Further, these dishes can be combined with a variety of meats, smoked or fresh, or vegetarian options, and again, although not heavily seasoned, they taste divine. In Eastern Europe, a variety of dumpling dishes are popular.
Before we go to Eastern, I feel like you can never go wrong with a pasta unless you add in something that just don't go.
No, you can't go wrong with a pasta.
Yeah, I love pasta. And see, sometimes we don't bring that into account that's white people food too. Mm-hmm. But y'all good with the pasta.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pastas be here. I don't know how you can mess up a pasta unless you like overcook your noodles.
Or undercook your meat.
Undercook your meat. Right. And if you have all your nice choppings in there, like, oh, it's gonna be fire. Right. It's gonna be fire.
Such as pierogi in Poland and cepelina in Lithuania. However, in Russia, for example, the main dumplings are pelmeni. They are made by putting minced meat consisting of pork, lamb, beef, or even fish with onions, garlic, and pepper into a basic dough made of flour and water. After being boiled, they are served with a dipping sauce of sour cream or mayonnaise dip mixed with dill. And although kinda basic, it is quite cozy to eat on a cold, snowy day. Georgia, although European...
See, at first glance, I wouldn't eat it at first glance. But once you start saying what's in it, yeah, it's cool. What I'm noticing is that y'all use a lot of dill.
Yeah.
That's the culture shock for me.
Yeah.
You know, but okay, I'm gonna just bring my hot sauce. It's okay.
Hot sauce fix everything, huh?
Everything.
Sticks out from the status quo, as within its cuisine, it implements quite a bit of spice and seasoning. For example, its most popular dish, khinkali, a soup dumpling, is heavily spiced. Its minced meat is seasoned with cumin, saturraja, chili pepper, and onions. It's then twisted into a simple dough where the meat releases its juices and creates a broth within the dumpling, which again is of divine taste. In Denmark, a known cold, wet, and forgotten by the sun country, a popular dish is stegt flæsk, a fried pork belly garnished with boiled potatoes dressed in parsley sauce. Again, not the most seasoned, however, with frying out the pork belly, its fat is released, which is perfectly paired with the boiled potatoes and sauce, which all serve to accentuate the taste of the main ingredient. When it comes to long-cooked savory dishes, some of the best examples consist of the Italian ossobuco or the French boeuf bourguignon, which just take it to a whole other level. However, within Central Europe, none other is king than the Hungarian paprikás. The dish is made up of cut-up chicken thigh that is nicely cooked within a sauce made of broth, sour cream, tomato juice, and seasoned with paprika, and then served with freshly made egg noodles known as nokelli. And there are so many other examples to name. So to say that this is white people food just doesn't do justice to the cuisine, as there is so much more to it than just spice. Anyways, let me know what you think. What are your favorite dishes?
Alright, man, make sure y'all check his channel out. Listen, I'm a seasoned type of guy. Wifey loves to cook. She loves to season the food to the T.
Yes.
And then we try food cultures from all around the world as well on our other channel, Life with Dem, and it's pretty good. They like this food season as well. But if the food isn't seasoned, like let's say if you do a stew for instance, right? You got all your lambs in there and everything,
right.
But it's not seasoned. It's going to still be or taste watery.
It's going to taste like the forest.
It's gonna taste watery. So I feel like you gotta slap some seasoning in there. And seasoning has benefits, y'all. Each one has like a real cool benefit to it for your body, so it's very healthy to us.
Right now, I know, you know, cooking with the different herbs. And don't be trying to correct me on how I pronounce herb, okay? It's herb.
Herb.
It could be herb to you, but it's herb to me. All right. I know that brings out different flavors, but I can't have a chicken or any type of meat
back on the chicken, huh?
on my plate, and it just look like chicken. Just naked.
Yes, it still looks naked, right?
I need to see the seasoning flowing in there, okay?
How that go? If it ain't seasoned, you ain't sneezing. No, if you ain't sneezing, it ain't seasoned. You gotta get a little sniff out.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Gotta get it out there.
So I don't know if that was a dig at us, but you did preface the video by saying that it's an American thing. But we have different techniques in our cooking as well.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. All right, this was a cool video though. It showed, you know, the stereotypes, and he actually broke it down. I thought it was gonna be like one of those joking videos again.
Nah, he went to it. Like I felt like he really gave information, especially from all over in the world. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't just white people in America; it's all over. So yeah, and I feel like everybody do have access to different levels of seasonings that they can, you know, add to their dishes, which make it more flavorful. And some people just choose not to, or it's not their culture, and maybe they just don't introduce it at all in their house.
Right. And one more thing I want to say. So now that we know it's more to what it looks like, we're just going to read ingredients and stuff. Hopefully that's on y'all menus when we come to y'all neck of the woods. Okay?
No, facts.
Because there was some things on here that I was like, oh, okay. Once he started saying exactly what was in the dish, I was like, oh, that sounds good.
Yeah.
But there was some things that I was like, I'm going to just stay away from that one.
Yeah.
You know, but it was cool. We learned more about your culture.
Facts.
All right. We hope you guys enjoyed this video with us. Be sure to subscribe. We'll see you soon.
Peace.